My name is Crystal Fletcher, and it is a pleasure to welcome you all to the Charlotte Police and Fire Training Academy. We gathered today for the graduation ceremony of our 6th Sergeant Leadership Development course. Today, we come together to celebrate and honor 12 remarkable leaders of our organization. Over the past 4 months, each of these individuals has faced and conquered numerous personal and professional challenges. At this time, please stand for the presentation of colors by the CMPD Honor Guard.
Ready, turn, left, right, detail, hold, post, come, ready, pace, present, on. Order, on. Ready, pace. On time, march. Left, right, ready, turn, left, right, forward. March. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right.
Thank you. You may all be seated. Now it is my honor to invite our Chief of Police, Johnny Jennings, to the stage to share a few words.
Thank you so much. I was so happy to hear Order Arms because I thought I was going to have to sing the national anthem because I didn't see anybody up here. I would have done it. So I'm going to start out by saying, first of all, I think I'm going to make somebody mad here. So I'm going to ask Wayne Embry to stand up, please. This is my understanding Wayne's last day in uniform. Is that right? So Wayne's getting ready to retire. I want to acknowledge him mainly because of the impact that he has had on so many of us in this police department, and the impact that he has on every single recruit that comes in here. If you look up in the dictionary what a trainer for police should be, I think you're going to find a picture of Wayne. Wayne, you mean so much to so many of us. I want to thank you for your service. I think your impact is going to last for a very long time. You have a great legacy here. So I want to give Wayne a round of applause, please. So to our leaders, our sergeants who just completed the 4-month course in leadership development, I want to say congratulations. But I don't need to tell you, because you're not new sergeants, I don't need to tell you the difficult and the impact that you have on so many people as well within the organization. As first-line supervisors, your role is ever so important in how we shape our department. You're also so important in the future of our agency, because if you look to your left and you look to your right, you're looking at future command staff members. You might even be looking at a future police chief. And you know as well as I do that being a supervisor, it's difficult. You're not going to make everybody happy. As a matter of fact, you're going to make some people very upset in decisions that you have to make. But those decisions, as you probably learned in the last 4 months, have to be what's right for this agency. You're always going to put the agency in front of any one individual or any one group. And sometimes that means difficult decisions that you'll have to make. And as you become leaders within the organizations as sergeants, I also challenge you to start looking forward to your future as a lieutenant, your future as a captain, as a major, as a deputy chief. Don't ever be complacent and feel like you've accomplished what you've wanted to accomplish and be done with it. Continue to move forward. Continue to always strive to be the best that you can be, and continue making this agency proud. And I've said it many times, and I'll end with this. But we are the best department in the entire country. We're the 17th largest agency in the U.S., and you're in a leadership role in that agency. And I think that's something to be very proud of. So to the families, I'm not sure how many your families are here. You should be very proud of your officers, sergeants, and the leads that they have, and how they are taking care of our agency and taking care of the people that work for them. So thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Chief Jennings. Next, I would like to welcome to the stage Sergeant Benjamin Hearn, who is the class president.
Good morning. Excuse me, I don't have a fancy iPad. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Command, and for this opportunity to learn and grow and being able to put on this course for our department. Thank you to all the partners who are covering down for us while we're here. I know they're not here to hear it, but please pass it on to your partners. Thank you for the instructors that sacrifice their time to come out and teach us. And lastly, thank you for all the families and significant others that support us in the back, especially my wife. Appreciate everything you do throughout this course and this career. This was Billy's first class as lead instructor, and other than working on his definition of fun, he did a very good job. And if I could put a positive PRD in a workday, I would. Strength through adversity. We spoke about this concept on day 1 of the course. Day 2, we had a full day of practical application, or in Billy's words, fun, learning about strength through adversity. The idea that we become stronger by pushing ourselves and each other to greater achievements and greater heights is a very valuable lesson, and one that must be constantly relearned. I know there was some heartburn on that day because we didn't expect to be treated like recruits again, and we prayed the entire course would not be like that. However, it was valuable to me as it enlightened me on the strengths that you all had already had. Through our own individual experiences, different traits, different adversities, and different backgrounds, you all have become strong. And you all brought that strength to this class and on that day. What I saw that day was grit, determination, humility, self-sacrifice, self-control, encouragement, teamwork, empathy, and Barb. You all have been chosen as sergeants for this reason alone, and you will be chosen as lieutenants for these same strengths. When we talk about strength as a leader, the part that we mentioned here and there but never really dove into was, why do you need this strength and what do you do with it? Chief alluded to it. We need the strength because leadership is a burden. It's a burden to set the example. It's a burden to hold someone accountable and have hard conversations. It's a burden to care for others and put your personal comfort aside. And it's a burden balancing mission accomplishment and employee wellness. But it's a worthwhile burden. It's a privilege, and it's going to be one of the greatest honors of your life. And you all have seen that challenge, accepted it, about seeing the importance and carrying it on and passing the torch to others below you. I encourage you all to continue using your strength to mentor and guide your officers. We're in a critical role where we must correct our officers without killing their confidence. You do not need them second-guessing themselves in perilous moments, but you need them getting better. So don't scold and tear down their confidence and self-esteem, but mentor and guide in understanding, patience, and love. Use your strength to not rush to judgment, and instead be slow to anger and learn the facts and then speak intentionally and calmly. Know your officers so that way when you see something you know is out of the character, you can get ahead of it. Leaders do not have the luxury of holding grudges. So learn to not let one bad incident taint your judgment and move forward. Use your strength to delegate authority, but not responsibility. As the leader, you own it all. You can't always be everywhere all at once. You need to know your people and delegate the right person to accomplish the task at hand. If that person fails, you own it. You're the leader. Don't point the finger at the officer you delegated. Instead, own it and figure out how you and that officer can learn and improve from it. On the same token, if that person succeeds, then they succeeded. Give your officers the praise they deserve and don't make it about yourself. Use your strength to be a servant leader, one who troops can rely on to have their back and look out for them, not just in work but in their personal lives as well. Our officers are out there every day taking the brunt of it, going call after call, stressor after stressor, anxiety after anxiety. Do everything in your power to reduce all that if you can. They need someone that can take care of them on the back end, someone who will follow through with doing what they say they will do, someone they can come to and be vulnerable with, and someone that can be constant for them among all the changes in their everyday life. You also need to be a servant leader to your leaders. Deputy Chief Robinson said it the other day, it doesn't get easier the higher you go. Our command's job is to handle the big picture. Think broadly. Our job is to handle everything else. We should not be burdening our command with the things that can be easily handled at our level. Keep them informed, and if you must bring a problem to them, at least come with a solution as well. It is your obligation to use your strength to give your command honest, respectful, but productive feedback. But then you say, "I, sir," or "I, ma'am," and complete the mission when told to do so. So in being a servant leader to your leaders, look for the next task your command will need done. Stay ahead of the problems for them. Do everything in your power to make their lives easier. This will relieve them of the burden, allow them to be more effective for the officers at their level. It will also help you learn your next job, and you will also be setting the example for your officers who are watching you. This is not about brown-nosing or drinking the Kool-Aid, as they like to say. That entails doing something for selfish reasons or expecting something in return. It's about serving and doing the right thing regardless of the outcome, because that is ultimately what we are doing for the community that we serve. And if you want to set the example and lead from the front for your officers, you need to emulate the behavior day in and day out, in good times and in bad. There's so much more that we have discussed over these last 5 weeks, and there's so much more I could go on, but I will end with this. In 2020, I was thinking about leaving the department. It was a hard year for me, riots, protests, COVID. More significantly, I lost one of my best friends in the line of duty, death in Hendersonville, North Carolina. I was unsure if I had the strength to continue on in this career or put my family through any more hardship. I was talking to civilian jobs, Fed jobs, had several resumes ready to be sent out. Someone in our class, we all remember his name, Micah Ramsey. I was talking with him one day at Eastway, back in the day. I don't know what brought the conversation up, but I was venting to him, and he said something to me that has stuck with me ever since. He said, "There is still some good in this world, and we get to be a part of it." This wasn't the only reason I decided to say, but it set my sights straight again. So finally, use your strength to continue being a part of what's good in this world. Congratulations, '06. Blessed to call you friends, proud to call you coworkers, and I look forward to calling you sir or ma'am one day. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Hearn. It is with great pleasure that I now get to introduce our guest speaker, CMPD retired Major John Diggs. While at CMPD, Major Diggs began his CMPD career in 1986 and retired in 2015. While at CMPD, Major Diggs held a multitude of responsibilities to include captain over the Family Services Bureau and Metro Division. Before he retired, he was the major over the Northeast Service Area. After retirement, he joined Tepper Sports Entertainment, where he is currently the Director of Safety and Compliance. During his free time, I hear he likes to play the guitar, go on early morning runs with his dog, and he is a fellow Capricorn. It is my pleasure to welcome to the stage retired CMPD Major John Diggs.
Thank you, and good morning. First of all, I just have to say, what a great speech you just heard. And so to make it easy on myself, I think I'm going to say what he said. I do want to echo some of the things that you've already heard this morning from great leaders, to include what I'm going to call the young sergeant that was just up here at this podium. You've got great examples throughout the department. One is his last day in uniform. As well as Chief Jennings himself, as well as Zaru, as well as Chief Riley. There's just a myriad of great examples that you'll always have in this organization to look at and aspire to be like. It's also come to my attention this morning that the young Trent Beam will be stepping into a new role here in less than a month, so congratulations to you. And I would be remiss if I didn't congratulate all of you that have taken part in this class to become an important leader. I want to expand on that thought just a little bit. The very idea that you are taking a class, subjecting yourself to stretching your horizons and your understandings, demonstrates that you're a lifelong learner. And that is what the very best leaders will always be. You'll always be trying to figure out what more can I know? What more in the way of a skill set can I add? So I applaud you for taking part in this. The concept of servant leadership was mentioned, and I'd like to expand on that just a little bit. I like to think of servant leaders as those who open doors for others. And what I mean by that is not just literally, but I have noticed that the very best leaders don't wait to have a door open for them. They'll open it and let someone else go through at the grocery store, the mall, wherever you are. But metaphorically, it's finding opportunities for the people that you're responsible for. And to go back to the idea of delegation, it's also imperative that you are preparing those that you are responsible for leading to someday step up and take your place. It's not a morbid thought. It's truly the way that the world keeps spinning is making sure that when your time comes to retire and go run with your dog in the morning like I do, that there's somebody there to take your place. And I'm looking at a lot of talent right here. And I know some of you better than I know others of you, but I'm extremely proud to see that the department that has a very dear place in my heart has folks like yourselves stepping up to lead. Actions will always be a greater thing than titles. Whether you're a sergeant, a lieutenant, captain, major, what you do with your role is what will truly distinguish you. That's what people are going to remember you for. The opportunities that you create for them, as well as the things that you teach them, the things that you impart to them. One of the things that you will learn, and one of the things that I learned when I was, green, brand new sergeant, is that there's a lot of ways to do the right thing. And, one of the things, and you're probably aware of this, in the law enforcement business, raise your hand if you've come across some egos. Have you met those guys? And so, again, never think that you're the only one with answers, but always be willing to collaborate and listen. And one of the things that I was talking to Johnny Chief Jennings just before is what really makes people happy. And you hear a lot of talk about things like morale. Personally, I'm not convinced that having, a whole lot of money is the key to happiness. Doesn't hurt, but the true value, and you can help create this, of making sure that employees are invested in a vision or purpose is to make sure that they have opportunities to contribute to it. Always, again, keep that door open. You never know who's going to have this just stellar idea. So inasmuch as you need to teach people, please remember to listen to them and help them formulate their own thoughts and their own purposes. And perhaps one day they'll be in a class like this as well. And as you move forward, again, I'm actually moved by the speech that preceded mine. So I know I'm going to come in no better than third in this thing, going against that speech and Johnny's. But as you progress, try to keep your loyalties not to individuals, but to the concepts of purpose and principle. And I guarantee you that will never fail you. It may seem a little bit idealistic, but people are imperfect. And if they were perfect, they would be boring. So don't be afraid of your own imperfections, but keep your loyalties to the things that basically you just know are right, and the things that will guide you to where you're trying to get yourself to, this organization to, and I guarantee you that you will always be okay. Lastly, I've only got about 2 hours more of material here. So just wanted to again say I'm extremely flattered to have been invited to be part of this very important ceremony for you all today. I really look forward to hearing great things about what you will do in the future, and some of you have already been just stellar. And again, what I'll leave you with is one of my favorite quotes, and it's from Maya Angelou. People will not remember what you said to them. People will not remember what you did, but they will remember how you made them feel. That's the end of the quote. So my challenge to all of you will be, and to everybody in the room really, commit yourself to making sure that the people you are responsible for feel deservedly confident in their abilities. Help shape them. And that's about all that I've got. I'm used to saying, is there any questions? But I don't really think that's appropriate here. Again, I wish you Godspeed. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay strong. Be kind. And thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Major Diggs. Before we present the Leadership Development Course graduation certificates to our sergeants, I would like to invite Lieutenant Luke Dyer, as well as the Sergeant's Leadership Development Course Committee, to the stage for a special presentation.
Good morning. It's truly an honor and privilege serving on the committee for the Sergeant's Leadership Development Course. This morning I have the distinct pleasure of recognizing, again, a truly remarkable individual, one who has left an unforgettable mark on our leadership training here at CMPD. A graduate of the FBI National Academy Class 221, this individual is no stranger to leadership training. In 2016, he played a pivotal role in establishing the Command College program, a program that has set the standard for leadership training in our department and beyond. The success of that initiative laid the groundwork for the Sergeant's Leadership Development Program, launched in 2020, which has continued to elevate the quality of our first-line supervisors. Since that time, he has been a guiding force and an educator across 9 Command College classes and 6 Sergeant Leadership classes. His impact on our future leaders is immeasurable, and his influence will undoubtedly be felt long after he moves on to his next well-earned retirement. As he closes this CMPD chapter, we celebrate not only his achievements, but his character, one that truly embodies the Latin phrase, non nobis sed alias, meaning not for self, but for others. His commitment to growth and mentorship has set a high standard, and he leaves behind a legacy that will continue to influence us all. To echo the Chief's words, he is truly the epitome of what a trainer should be. Please help me congratulate an exemplary leader and good friend of mine, Officer Wayne Embry.
That was great. Thank you, Lieutenant Dyer and the Sergeant's Leadership Development Course Committee for recognizing Officer Wayne Embry for his accomplishments during his CMPD career. We wish him well in his retirement. At this time, I would like to ask Chief Jennings to join Sergeant Rozelle and I on stage so that we can present the dedicated sergeants with their graduation certificates. First up is Sergeant Joshua Allman. Sergeant Allman has proudly served the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department for 18 years. He was promoted to sergeant in December of 2021 and is currently assigned to the Metro Division. Next up is Sergeant Benjamin Hearn. Sergeant Hearn has dedicated 10 years to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. He earned his promotion to sergeant in December of 2022 and currently serves in the North Division. Thank you. Next up is Sergeant Kamala Hoax. Sergeant Hoax has been with the department for 14 years. She was promoted to sergeant in April of 2019 and now serves in the Internal Affairs Division. Next up is Sergeant Everett Huff. Sergeant Huff has 14 years of service with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. He was promoted to sergeant in December of 2022 and is currently stationed in the Westover Division. Next up is Sergeant Nicholas Louise. Sergeant Louise has served the department for 8 years. He was promoted to sergeant in December of 2023 and is assigned to the Providence Division. Next up is Sergeant Jacquees Morris. Sergeant Morris has contributed 14 years to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. He was promoted to sergeant in December of 2022 and serves in the University City Division. Next up is Sergeant Evan Knabb. Sergeant Knabb has dedicated 18 years to the department. He was promoted to sergeant in December of 2022 and works in the Internal Affairs Division currently. Sergeant Micah Ramsey. Sergeant Ramsey has been with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department for 16 years. He was promoted to sergeant in April of 2022 and currently serves in the Central Division. Next up is Sergeant Troy Reagan. Sergeant Reagan has served the department for 13 years and was promoted to sergeant in December of 2019. He is currently assigned to the Internal Affairs Division. Sergeant Lauren Stubblefield. Sergeant Stubblefield has 17 years of service with the department. She was promoted to sergeant in December of 2019 and serves in the North Tryon Division. Sergeant Allison Sudreth. Sergeant Sudreth has dedicated 18 years to the department. She was promoted to a sergeant in June of 2018 and is assigned to the Special Victims Division. Sergeant Kevin Wiggins. Sergeant Wiggins has 14 years of service. He was promoted to sergeant in December of 2023 and is currently stationed at the Independence Division. At this time, I would like to ask all 12 of our graduates to please stand and be recognized for this outstanding achievement. Congratulations. You may all be seated. Today marks an important day of celebration, reflection, and acknowledgement. We are not only gathered to recognize your hard work, but also to honor the spirit of leadership that binds us as a department. The Sergeant Leadership Development course has equipped you with essential skills gained over 17 sessions across 4 transformative months. You now join the 65 sergeants who graduated from previous courses, and each of you have the potential to continue rising in this organization. This course tested your strength, refined your abilities, and prepared you to lead with excellence. As you move forward, remember the words of John F. Kennedy: leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. In our profession, learning never stops, and great leaders embrace continuous growth to better serve their teams and communities. Leadership is about setting the standard, not just with words, but with actions. As Mahatma Gandhi once stated, be the change that you wish to see in the world. Lead with integrity and inspire your teams by embodying the values you uphold. Thank you for being here today. Please join us for refreshments and fellowship in the cafeteria as we continue to celebrate these exceptional leaders. Thank you and have a great day.